with a WWE star stalker set to be put behind bars, and more. This is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Known as Aiden English in WWE, Matthew Rehwoldt recently spoke to Wrestling News Co. about why Rusev Day was held back in the company, saying, "I don't feel it was a case of them spiting us. I think there's a misnomer that if there's a popular idea they didn't intend, they just want to stomp it. No, because that's bad business. If they truly felt that way, they would have split us up, squashed it, and Rusev would have gone on to do something else. They kept booking us, putting us on shows, and giving us promo time, so they acknowledged that there's something not to ignore. However, where the issue came in, and I stand by this, is that once Vince views you in one way, it's very hard to change that view, especially if he likes you as XYZ. Taking to Instagram, former WWE star Eve Torres explained why she got her breast implants removed and the complications that came with them, writing, "As a former gymnast, engineering undergraduate, and professional wrestler, I have spent nearly all my life intentionally rejecting signals from my body. If I just pushed through the pain or worked a little harder, the next big thing would be on the other side for me. If I rested, I would lose to those who weren't resting. As I transitioned into motherhood with executive level responsibilities in our family business, this pattern of thought and behavior continued, only with seemingly higher stakes. I have now had over a decade of unexplained health issues ranging from psoriasis to disruptive gut and digestive issues to brain fog and anxiety. In 2020, I finally started to get testing done to confirm the root of these concerns. While it was clear they were all symptoms indicating autoimmune issues, and I worked through several protocols to identify and address the issues, I did not get to any concrete answers or solutions. I had heard about breast implant illness, and everything inside of me wanted to reject the possibility of this as a potential contributor to my health issues. I got my breast implants in 2009 when I was in WWE during a time where I was comparing my body to all the women around me, and I knew this was the only way to attempt to attain the ideal Victoria's Secret model body I grew up admiring. It wasn't until Henner brought it up to me in a conversation last year, a conversation that started with deep internal resistance. But as we talked more and more about the value of our health and his declaration that while he knew this would ultimately be my decision, he wanted me to know that he supported an explant surgery 100% if it meant a longer, healthier future together. I started to sob. I co-ed for the difficult choices that women have to make for their bodies. I felt rage at the lack of research that goes into women's health issues. I wept with the reality that there was truly only one way to know if this was the make it or break it factor in my health finally improving, but more than anything, I sobbed at the possibility that I was lovable even if I didn't fit the standard beauty I was brought up to value. After months of research and consultation, I ultimately decided that knowing and the possibility of getting better was worth this sacrifice. Upon scheduling my surgery, I did all I could to make my body as strong and healthy as possible to prepare. I am a week post-surgery writing this, and I will have my drains and sutures removed today. While I am uncomfortable, in some pain and restless, I am optimistic to start this healing journey after eliminating two major internal battles. I know there are more to conquer, and I feel stronger than ever to take those on. I want to state that there are many women who do not experience any complications with their implants. I am, however, grateful to the brave women and doctors who began to share their experience with this illness, and those who are researching this condition to ensure that women are making informed decisions when it comes to what they do with and for their bodies. I am grateful to everyone who has poured into me during this process, reached out, sent well wishes, and shared their healing tips. I'm grateful for the Gracie University HQ team keeping things thriving while Henry and I are both out, and I'm grateful for my husband, not just for holding down the home fort while I recover, but for helping me feel loved through this process. I want my mind to be sharp again. I want to feel strong again. I want to experience a freedom with food without fearing the worst. I want to be here as long as I can to enjoy my children. I want myself back. I look in the mirror in my body, and even though I don't recognize her yet, I am ready to get to know her again. It is one of the hardest things in our society to stop looking outward and start looking inward. For everyone on this roller coaster of a journey, I'm here with you. Touching on highlights from WWE's recent conference call, Ringside News noted that WWE executives were asked whether they are able to gauge interest from other networks outside of NBCU and Fox during the exclusivity window. Nick Khan replied that while he believes WWE is on the radar of many networks, the company is committed to honoring its exclusivity agreements and keeping discussions within those circles during that period. The executives were also asked about any potential extensions with Peacock. Khan replied that since the current deal has a few more years left, they will evaluate their options at that time. Nick Khan was also asked about renewals for Raw and SmackDown. He reported that they have had productive conversations with NBCU and Fox and have seen growth in the product. While he could not provide an estimated timing for the renewals, he expressed confidence in the future of both series. When it comes to the merger deal for WWE and UFC being closed by Endeavor, it was said in WWE's first quarter 2023 earnings report that the transaction is expected to close in the second half of 2023. The transaction is subject to the satisfaction of customary closing conditions, including receipt of required regulatory approvals. Touching on Brock Lesnar not being drafted in WWE this year, Ringside News noted that WWE decided that Brock Lesnar needs to be a free agent this year, but that wasn't always the original plan. Ringside News reached out to confirm this story, and we were told that the decision was changed. We were also told that during this decision was not seen as a big deal. Now, both Fox and USA Network will get to feature Brock Lesnar on their channels, and this kind of thing matters during television rights deals. Speaking about Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks not wanting to work with CM Punk, Disco Inferno stated on Keeping It 100, if the story is true that the Elite does not want to work with Punk, I get rid of them. I would absolutely. Tony Khan needs to let one of these two factions go. He needs to either get rid of Kenny and the Bucks, or he needs to get rid of Punk. If you're doing business, okay, and it's come to the point where it's either us or them, you need to get rid of the people that bring you less to the table than the other guy. Punk brings way more to the table than Kenny and the Bucks, and that's just a fact. Since when are you guys such icons in this business where like you could refuse to work because you've had an issue with somebody? Every wrestler in the past that's far more popular than you guys have ever been have worked things out and done business. So if you guys don't want to do business, bro, just let them go. You'll probably be saving a lot of money. They need to cut some costs too, but if they're not willing to work with Punk, get rid of them. They're useless. As CM Punk has made backstage appearances recently at Raw for WWE and an Impact Wrestling taping, this was said by Jim Cornette on his podcast when it comes to the potential reason why. He's basically showing Tony Khan, you moron. If I walk out into a parking lot, it makes news. And who else do you have on your roster that can be said that about? So smarten up, get your head out of your ass, and in the meantime, he's having fun visiting different places in Chicago. With a stalker attempting to abduct Sonya Deville years ago, the man has finally been sentenced in Florida, as Fox 13 News reports. A man accused of stalking and plotting to kidnap WWE star Sonya Deville nearly 3 years ago struck a plea deal that is supposed to put him behind bars for the next 15 years. According to prosecutors, Thomas was obsessed with the wrestler. They say his obsession turned to anger and he drove from South Carolina to the Bay Area with a knife, zip ties, and duct tape with a plan of kidnapping the wrestler. Months before, they say he bombarded her with threatening text messages on social media and later extended those threats to her friends and family. Deville says she ignored it for the most part until he broke into her home in August of 2020. Home surveillance video shows Deville checking a sliding door after her alarm system was triggered. In the video, you see her spot Thomas and run away. Moments later, Thomas is seen on video walking into Deville's home. Shortly after Thomas was arrested, Deville told a judge about it in court. I saw him man standing there," she said. "I had black clothing on and a black mask, and he was just standing there staring at me. I looked up, I saw him. I was terrified. I started screaming. I don't even know what I said. What the F are you doing here? What do you want?" As part of his plea agreement, he was sentenced to 15 years in prison, followed by 15 years of probation. When it comes to there supposedly being issues backstage in WWE, Steve Carey of Ringside News noted, "We keep seeing reports of backstage chaos during the WWE draft. This is not true. We were told that one announcer who had something different in his notes because he was in an earlier meeting and did not get the word about the updated talking points during the show. That was the only snafu, and everything else went 100% according to plan without any chaos at all." And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.